This video will teach you how to prepare an exam taken in class and finished in one sitting. Our learning outcomes for this video are to be able to duplicate the exam from your bank and move it to your course, and be able to choose the correct settings to allow students to take a test in class and in one sitting. Let's take a look at what we need to do. So right now I am currently in my bank. This is the assessment that I've put together. So I've added the questions and it's ready to be finalized in my course. Remember, your exams are built in your banks and sent to your course where the students exist and you're able to push your exam out to them. We're going to go and choose duplicate. From the bank, we are going to use an unlinked assessment, and we are down here at the bottom going to type in this case, just my course sandbox. I have duplicated this now to my course. I'm going to choose, do I want to show students a percentage, a raw score? Again, that's their exit scores, 5 out of 6, a percentage, 70%, whichever. Backwards navigation, allowing students to move backwards through the test to catch anything that they missed. Missing answer reminders. Calculators, text highlighting, a 5-minute alarm. Notes, copying and pasting. Spell check, find and replace. These are all features that, will be different depending on the assessment that you want. What we're looking for, though, are the security options that are going to make this an in-class course. Now, if you want to have a password that opens up your secure exam, we've got it set for secure right now. We have randomized the question sequence. This also helps with people who are sitting next to each other. Make sure, though, that you have locked questions together that are about the same topic. So if you have 5 questions all about one case, make sure you have locked those together. Otherwise, they will be spread apart after you've randomized the question sequence. Also, watch out for randomizing answer choices. If you have an all of the above at the bottom, then it's going to be randomized to A instead. So you might have as the first choice all of the above. So avoid all of the above unless, again, you lock those into position. And the universal resume code. This is an unlikely thing to need. It's really for unusual situations where a student has needed to be away from the computer for an extended period of time. And in this case, where we have students in class participating and taking the test in front of you predominantly, this is something you probably don't need to worry too much about. So we've got our settings here. We're going to go to check the test, make sure everything's there. If you want to make any final adjustments, you can do that on the right side. And in post settings, you're going to put in a password at the top. I do not recommend that you use the same password every time. I recommend that you change up your password and make it something so that it's not in some sort of linear fashion from the last one. So for example, if you have password 1 as your first password, don't have your second password be password 2. In most cases, you're going to select the students to give all of the students, the entire course, to give the test to. In some cases, you might have specific students. If there's anybody who's not already in your course on ExamSoft, you'll want to add them here. But if they're already assigned to your course in ExamSoft, you do not need to add anybody else. The scheduled date. This is the first moment that a student would be able to take the exam. The download start. This is the first moment the students would be able to download the exam, but they would not be able to take it even with the correct password, depending again on your scheduled date. The download end. This is the last possible moment a student could download the test before taking the test. The upload deadline. This is something I do not recommend that you use. This is a hard deadline that students will not be able to submit anything after this moment. You will not be able to retrieve tests. After this, you would have to go back and change this if there was some sort of problem. I recommend you do not put anything in here. Maximum downloads. One is generally going to be appropriate for every class. If you put in two, that might allow for students to have the ability to switch computers if necessary. Again, something that's fairly unlikely. Remote deletion. Delete all the assessment downloads when you're done. You can set this for, I don't know, a week afterwards. That would be fine. The ping and release is allowing you to choose students to release the test to. Email reminders. I like to have a reminder for when the downloads will end and when the uploads will end. But of course, you have to have those dates in first. So let's put in those dates. There we are, giving us a chance to then select that, and it'll be 24 hours before the download end. And again, we don't have an upload deadline. Assessment review settings. You can have an immediate review where the students are able to see their answers right away. You can have a delayed review as well. If you choose the delayed review, you will need to choose what time you're going to set it for. The password will allow students to open up this review so that you could do it in class altogether, or you could, again, control the release of those results. Time and options, including rationale and incorrect answers only, are some of the options that go with that. So this test would be set to take in class, again, based on the scheduled date. They would enter the password and begin the test. They would be able to download it. I recommend, at least 24 hours before the test, give them that chance to be able to download it. And again, the download end, you really want to give them as much time as possible to choose those settings. If you have any questions, please make sure to stop by or send me an email. Best of luck.